I have in front of me a 13 years old laptop from a company known as Fujitsu. This is going to be a fun video as we are going to look inside this laptop and will try to figure out how much progress we have made in terms of hardware, design and size. Also, being an engineering student, I am very excited to tear down this thing, but let me tell you that this laptop weighs around 8 pounds, which means it is extremely heavy to carry in one hand. And comparing it side by side with a modern day laptop, you can easily figure out that significant progress has been made in terms of size and design. So we will also discuss at the end of this video that whether you can use a very old but working PC for your daily use or not, and if yes, then how. So without wasting any time, let's get started with the teardown. We are gonna take it apart by starting from the display panel. This is a 15-inch TFT panel having resolution of 1024 x 768p. Also, this is not a slim panel by any means, it is quite thick, and if you have to compare it with a modern day display panel, you can easily see the difference. But anyway, it is good to see that it came with an anti-glare protection as well. This laptop is 40mm thick and weighs around 3.6 kilos, and there is a very good reason for it. Look at the rear of this device, you can see 9-pin serial port, 25-pin parallel port for connecting peripherals, and a 15-pin monitor port, and last but not the least, a room for an air vent as well. It is important to mention that the trend of these connectors have gone, and almost all of these connectors can no longer be found on any modern laptop. Now, to get into the motherboard, we need to take this lid off. This hard piece of plastic houses a circuit board having different indicators, 2 speakers and a power button. And the speakers can also be disconnected in the same way. When that is being done, we can easily lift off the keyboard. To be honest, this keyboard looks quite decent and typing experience on this thing must be a true charm. However, those extra letters in unfamiliar language looks a bit weird. Now at this point we cannot lift off this piece until we have unscrewed it from the back. On the back you can see some removable slots. There is a slot for a memory chip, hard drive and a battery. So we will start with the memory slots. Within these RAM slots, we can use 2 memory sticks up to 2 gigs at max. Both these memory sticks in my hands are DDR2 having 256 megabytes of capacity each, which looks very low as these days even the low-end phones have got more RAM than that. But you have to keep in mind that this is a 13 years old device and back then it was not meant for a heavy usage. In fact, those days it was considered enough to use Office and other business programs on it. Then you can see a very small 2000 mAh battery at one end of the device, which considering the size of this laptop by no means looks decent. Then at the middle of the device we can get into a 40 gigs of mechanical hard drive, which again seems to be very low for a laptop, but that is what it is. So once the top cover of the laptop is taken apart, we can have our first look at the touchpad circuitry along with an old school fingerprint sensor. At this point, if we compare the modern day laptop with this one, we can easily see that we have got rid of most of the components which were quite useful and important 10 years ago, like that rewritable DVD-ROM, floppy disk reader, flash card reader, PC card slot, and yeah, that behemoth air vents which in most cases have been replaced by copper heat pipes. Now after removing the cooling fan and air vent, we can have our first look at the Intel Celeron M430 processor, which is clocked at 1.73 GHz. Nowadays we have energy efficient up to 14nm processors, while this processor is based on 65nm architecture, which means it is a very power hungry processor. Not very far from it, you can see ATI Express 200M series chipset as well as a quite low-end GPU over here as well. Now at the end, as we have seen from the specs and condition of this old machine, it is of no good anymore and cannot be used for any kind of work. However, it can be converted into a Chromebook. Chrome OS runs smoothly on very low-end devices, so I think if you also do have a working old PC, then installing Chrome OS on it could be a good idea. Well, I hope this video was somehow valuable to you. Thanks for watching and I will see you on the next one.